This guy has always been a pillar of strength. I've never seen the guy cry. I've never seen the guy weak. I've never seen the guy whine about I don't know what. And I look at this guy, and there are tears balancing in his eyes. And I'm like, hey? That's what actually brought me back from my out-of-body experience. And I look at him and he's like, if this guy is like this, now my 5 sisters and my mother, how are they going to react?
Yeah. The motto on CTA is you truly never know people until you take the time to get to know people. We are seated here with Sidney Chahonyo, and he's unveiling his life story. Where we are right now in the story, you've joined Hillcrest. When he Barbie. Even the Barbie says that you're a Barbie. Yes. You know when guys ask me, there are guys who think I'm a Barbie, I'm like, yeah, but me I was lower tier Barbie. I was entry Barbie level. There are guys who had masters in Barbie. My parents used to tell me, don't think we have money like your friends. They are talking about you.
We are the friends.
You're the friends. So, very straight. You've talked about now going to Hillcrest. When you went to Hillcrest, Hillcrest was Hillcrest.
Yes.
This is like, in fact, the only other guy was Gitura in Hillcrest for the time you're going in.
Did I?
Gitura, did you catch him there?
Gitura, I think he was a year ahead of me.
He was, huh?
He was ahead of me, yes.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah.
So, okay, so you don't even go to Hillcrest for A-levels. You go in the...
Yes. Yes. Which year was that? 8 or year 9. Yeah.
And now what is that like?
Because it was year 8. It was, okay, first of all, it was, Rusinga is a great school.
Yeah.
But Hillcrest was on another level.
Another.
Even just walking into the school, you're like, okay, right. Look at the science lab, you look at this, you look at the grounds, you look at the rugby pitch, you look at the swimming pool, there was an amphitheater, and you're like, okay.
Guy, this is the 90s.
Yes. Then, my teachers, half of them, actually more than half of them are white, from the UK or from the US. And it exposed me a lot because you were asking about exposure earlier. The people I went to Hillcrest with, diplomats' kids, ministers' kids, it was just very affluent people's kids. People who used to say, oh, what are you guys doing for the summer? Oh, yeah, we are going to France. Then we might hop into Spain for a weekend while we're in Europe. And you're like, okay. That's guys, we just go to Mombasa. So as much as, things are good for us, you start to realize, okay, there's another whole world out there.
Yeah.
There are tears. So if you are Barbie
entry.
There's Barbie, maybe hapo katikati, somewhere in the middle.
This is a Barbie top. So, but what's your dad doing at the time you're going to Hillcrest?
When I joined Hillcrest, I think he was either as the CEO of Postbank Credit, or he was the CEO of Kenya Sugar Authority, one of the two. He was either still in the bank or at a parastatal.
Okay.
Yes.
But in your household, it's very important that I say this. It's both incomes. Even your mom is a working woman.
Yes.
And is she also rising up the ranks?
She's still rising. I remember taking her to buy her first car. And she wanted to buy it herself. She didn't want my dad to give her the money. Not her first car, but the first brand new car she got from the showroom.
Yeah, the one she bought.
The one she bought for herself. It was a Hyundai Accent, Sahara Red. And she was so proud of her. We were also proud of her.
Yeah.
It was a galley car. But that thing was efficient. We'd put 200 bob in that car, drive from Karen, pick people up in Muthaiga, go to Carnival for Rock Night or Soul, drop them back, and then go home with 200 bob. I don't know, maybe the economy was different then. Maybe fuel was cheaper, but I remember putting 200 bob. Now 200 bob didn't even get you to the gas station.
Bro, you just switch on the moti. Okay, so I've heard about the friends that you have. It's so your story is so unique. You are in Kenya, but you're going to a school where majority of the people are Jungus, are
Yes,
whites, are
yes,
foreigners.
yes.
The minorities are the Kenyans.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
What's that life like?
I don't see color.
Yes.
I don't see this one is better than the same way I don't look down on people. I don't feel like just because you have more money, you're better than someone. I look at the person. So for me, it was just interacting with people, getting to know them, forming relationships. Obviously, people's backgrounds are different. There already, cliques had formed here and there. But I managed to get in and I managed to, do well for myself.
Okay.
Yes.
At that age, it's so funny. I love that age because friendships are really pure. What I mean by that is you're not friends with somebody because of what they have. At that time, it's just like, hey, you want to be my friend so that we can party together, we can vibe these chicks together.
Yes.
It's not that you're looking at them and thinking about the finances that they have and therefore aligning yourself.
Yeah. And then at the same time, everyone's kind of well-to-do. So this weekend there's a party at whose house, next weekend there's a party at whose house. So there was also a lot of hanging out with people, obviously now as we got older, in different spaces.
Yeah.
And, we'd go to places like the Barn, we'd go to places like Black Cotton, they're predominantly white clubs. But because I was semi-Barbie, and because, we kind of lived a similar lifestyle, as much as the background is different and all that, I just managed to fit in.
Yeah.
I managed to fit in with everyone.
Okay.
Yeah.
So did you enjoy that season of yours in
Hillcrest I think those are some of my best years. It was just fun. Obviously now it became too much fun. Where, my O-levels, I did very well. Very, very well. After that, A-levels, I started to now slip academically. I was, sports-wise, I was on every team. I was on the soccer team, I was on the basketball team, I was on the rugby team. I used to do swimming, I used to do cross-country, I used to do track.
Wow.
I was very athletic, and I loved sports. Academically, I started to slip after I did my O-levels, just because there was so much going on, and I was so much into that lifestyle of going out and having fun.
Yeah.
That I wasn't purely focused on my education.
Okay.
Yes.
And are you going to school? At this time, have you gotten your motorbike?
Yes.
Oh, you got it when you're 16. So did you go to school with it?
They wouldn't allow us to.
Oh, they wouldn't allow you to drive?
But every once in a while, I would sneak it in. Yes. Or on a weekend when the borders are there, or when there's a game on a weekend or a tournament, I'd just sneak in, try to impress the girls.
Were you a weekly boarder or a day scholar?
No, I was a day scholar.
You were a day scholar?
Yes.
Okay. So, at this time in Hillcrest, I heard you say you wanted to be, you talk about engineering.
Yes.
So, do you continue, so you're studying, that's why you're doing your A-levels. And are you thinking of where am I going to go?
When my dad actually wanted me to go to the UK to do my O-levels.
Whoa.
O-levels, because my sister, the one who I follow, had gone to a very expensive school, a very good prestigious school. And he said, I want you to also go do your O-levels in the UK. I was like, no, I don't want to go. I finished my O-levels. I was like, okay, now go do your A-levels. For some reason, I don't know what it is. Until today, I cannot explain it. And I just kept saying, I don't think I'm ready to go yet. Maybe I was having too much fun. So I said, let me do my A-levels. Because also, at that time, I was thinking of but I still wasn't quite sure what I wanted to study in uni. So I said, let me just do my A-levels. And then after that, we can plan. So I actually told my dad, no, I'm not going.
First and foremost, do you understand? In UK, schools are free. Mm-hmm. The only people who go to paying schools are the elite of the elite. in the UK. So you are going to go to a private school in the
Yes.
UK.
Yes.
Wow.
Yes.
That's on other levels. Anyway, so but then you are like, no, I'm not in. But
Yeah, I
Glow,
just
Sharon, them they've gone. Your sisters are in the UK.
Yeah.
So you are literally more or less alone at home. Then they
Yes.
come for holidays.
Yes.
Okay. So what then transition me then now out of this A-level time or Hillcrest, unless there's something that you want to talk about at this time.
I don't think I'd add anything else on Hillcrest.
Okay.
Yeah.
So okay, what happens then?
After Hillcrest, June 2003, I finished my A-levels. I applied to certain schools. I wanted to do aeronautical engineering. I applied to various schools, but the school I really wanted to get into was Embry-Riddle Aeronautical University in Daytona. That's one of the best aeronautical schools. The fees was something, quite hefty, but I managed to get a partial scholarship.
You applied for yourself? You're the one who did all the applications for yourself?
Yes. Because a lot of, because we were doing the British system, a lot of the connections were aligned to British universities. And for some reason, I didn't want to go to the UK because of the school I wanted to go to. I really wanted to go to Embry-Riddle. So I did the application. I got accepted. I got a partial scholarship. At that time, I think per semester it was something like $30,000.
And how many semesters?
Per semester. That's just school fees, eh?
Yeah. And
You
how many
haven't talked about
semesters are there?
accommodation, you haven't talked about pocket money, you haven't talked about all those other
yes.
fees and exams and whatever it is. So I got a partial scholarship. And even after I finished school, my dad wanted me to join because we finished in June. He wanted me to join in the fall semester, meaning September.
Yeah.
And I was like, no, let me take a break. I'll join in January. First, I don't know what it was.
Wow.
So I did the application, I got accepted. Then comes January 2004. No. Yeah, January 2004. And I start doing the whole visa process and this and that. And I applied, I had gotten my partial scholarship. I go to the US Embassy to apply for my visa, my student visa. And for some reason, I didn't get it.
What?
And the lady said something to the effect of, we have not proven that we have enough finances to get me through it. And I was there with my sister, my firstborn, the pilot. She's, captain at KQ. She's earning, a good salary.
Your sister had become
My
captain at
parents are there.
KQ?
Yes, she was a captain, yes, at KQ. And
Your sister became captain at KQ?
yes,
What's your
she was a captain, yes.
Oh, okay.
She was the second female captain at Kenya Airways.
Yeah.
Yes, after Koki.
Yeah, after Koki?
Yes.
Okay.
Actually, she joined KQ before Koki, but then at some point she left and went to Air Kenya, then went back to KQ.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay.
But anyway, so eventually I didn't get it.
So hold on. They say you haven't shown that you have enough finances to...
Yes. At that point in our lives, my dad was dabbling in politics. And he was somewhat of a kingmaker, if you could call it. And because of the clout he had in, Vihiga and Western Kenya, he was kind of like the go-to guy. If you want to do something, this is the guy who will show you what's going on. Even when Uhuru Kenyatta first ran, the first year he ran, we hosted him at our house in Vihiga. Because I was told, this is the guy who will show you around. This is the guy who will introduce you to people. So anyway, at that time...
He's respected heavily in Vihiga.
Huh?
Your dad. He was and is respected heavily in Vihiga at that time.
Yes. So at that point, we were going through a bit of a financial storm because there were some allegations that had been made about abuse of office or improper conduct and blah, blah, blah. And he was currently going through a court case.
Yeah.
So financially, it was quite tough.
Okay.
Because, you have, at that point, it was just me and one sister who was around, Bev. The rest were all out of the country. UK and the US.
Wow.
Yeah. And one was living in South Africa, one was in the US. So it was literally me and one other sister. But also financially, we had to, kind of start trimming what was going on.
Is he still working?
Huh?
Is he
No,
still-
no. He's not working at that point.
Oh, so there's no income?
Yes.
At least
There's
from
no
him.
income. Huh?
Your mom is still working?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. In fact, I remember my mom had to take a mortgage on a loan on the house just to kind of make sure everyone was okay.
Wow.
And pay these court fees and these lawyers and blah blah blah. And because he was prominent and people said, we are gonna MPESA, now the lawyers were charging top dollar. Yes. So at that time things were a bit tight financially. So I think that maybe is a bit of what. But I honestly think, like, with everything that we presented, I should have gotten that visa. But maybe God had other plans.
So just let me dwell here a bit, because you see in your story thus far, it's been good.
Yeah.
My guy, you are mid to top tier, Bobby. You know what I mean? Your story, financial strain, that word,
Yeah.
it's not entered anywhere.
Yeah.
Can you know, is this the first time in your life that you're noticing, hey, what is this?
Yes. It was very strange because I saw a lot of it. Because I was the one who was home with my parents. And we'd go to, there's this guy who used to have a Forex. And we'd go to him and tell him, hey, just send money to these girls, some pocket money or some school fees or whatever. We don't have the money now. We don't know where we'll get it, but we'll get it. Another thing my dad did, he invested a lot in land. So he had a lot of assets, but at that point he was not cash rich.
Asset rich, cash poor.
Yes. So at that point, he started selling a lot of assets just to, keep the family afloat and to, ensure that the kids are still getting the best education. But, it takes a while to sell a piece of land, and liquidate it. Yes. So at that point, assets were there. Cash was not flowing very well. I remember one significant incident where that time we used to have scratch cards.
Yes.
Right? And my dad would buy a 250 bob scratch card. And he would share it between himself, my mom, me, and my sister who were in the house.
Wow.
250 shillings.
Wow.
Yeah. So you kind of start to realize, okay, yeah, things are thick. But not to the point where you have to sell the house.
Okay.
You are selling the shambas, the assets that really had no meaning. Not the major assets.
I get it.
Yes.
This is, I love the richness of this conversation. There are very many people in Kenya who are your dad now. What I mean is, they appear to be billionaires or millionaires, but the truth be told, it's in assets and they're cash poor. When it comes to cash, people say cash is king. This is what they're talking about.
Yes.
They're talking about daily needs that require money,
Yes.
but you don't have that money.
Yeah.
But then the second thing is that I want to touch on is the effect, and maybe I want you to speak on, is it politics that started getting him in the muck? Is it corruption that started getting him in the muck? Is it his position? Like, what starts this whole thing that leads to the downturn?
I think it's a mixture of many things. Politics had a hand in it because he was very influential, and the powers that be at that point in time played a political game with him. So you'd find people in Western Kenya, the Luhya community, who are not towing the line. He would be told, okay, go and talk to these guys. Or, this guy's not behaving, I want you to run for MP. So, but the minute he would now start doing that, these guys would toe the line, and then he'd be told, okay, don't do it. So there was a very big political game being played.
Wow.
A very big political game being played. But at the same time, because now he's not earning, because these allegations have been made, and now he's in court, Eventually, he was cleared of everything because everything went above board. Everything went through the board. Everything was approved by the board, signed by the by Treasury, by the Minister of Finance. So everything was, but he was almost like a political scapegoat.
Yeah.
Yes. So because he's not earning, his children are almost all of them are abroad in very prestigious schools. He still has to find a way to make ends meet. Yes.
Thank God at least he had these assets that he had invested in.
Exactly. Yes.
And that time there was not the wokeness to invest in things like special funds, MMFs, and all.
We didn't even know they existed at that point. It was land. Land was it. There was no CG Mansa X. I don't know who. Those things didn't. Maybe they existed.
But
I know there was a stock market, but it wasn't a thing.
Wow. So his financial literacy wasn't to the point of, I get what you're saying. He was doing what it is known to do at the time.
Yeah.
Because these guys are working, this is huge. These guys are working in the bank. They're working in and he's touching even central bank.
Yes.
Okay. What does this do for you guys as a family?
It was a very tough period. It was, how do we ensure that now these siblings of mine who are abroad finish school, finish their degree, come back home?
Wow.
How do we now ensure that Sydney actually gets to go to university?
Wow.
But another twist happened. Because immediately after I got my rejection for the US Embassy, I wouldn't say even a couple of months, maybe a month later, I started getting strange symptoms. Very mild headaches at the back of my head. I started nose bleeding, but I was a rugby guy. I used to play rugby in Hillcrest, played Prescott rugby. So for me, it wasn't a thing. Then I just got flu symptoms, just like runny nose. And with time, initially you're like, it's just a headache. Sleep it off, drink water, take a Panadol. And eventually the symptoms got more and more severe. So the headaches got more intense. The nose bleeding was more frequent. The flu symptoms were much worse, more enhanced. And I started, going to hospitals. You start with the clinics, obviously. Then you go to the major hospitals. And
what are they saying?
And you're being told, it's a sinus problem. Take these pills. In 15 days, you should be okay. You take the pills. They suppress the symptoms. The minute you stop taking it, the symptoms come back or start getting worse. Yeah. You go to another doctor, he treats you for the same thing. You go to the third one, he's saying, I'm like, no, I've done this before. I've tried it. It's not worked. It's something else. Now I started going to all the major hospitals. And I'm talking about the best hospitals in Kenya. The Aga Khans, the Nairobi hospitals, the MPESAs, the Mata hospitals.
You went to that many?
Huh?
You went to that many?
This is just the hospitals. This is after going to very many clinics and very many doctors who you have been referred to. And eventually someone told me, since it's a nose issue, seems to be, localized in your head. So maybe go see an ENT, ear, nose, and throat doctor.
Yes.
Because it's in that, in that main region. Because I was nose bleeding, I had flu symptoms very pronounced, and the head could be related to, So one of our family friends connected me with an ENT, very good ENT. And I went to see him. Same story. Oh, take this pill. I've taken those ones. Okay, try this. I've tried those ones. Little did I know, the main guy who I was supposed to see only goes there on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So the days I was going, I was not seeing him. But I didn't know I was not seeing him.
Yeah.
So eventually, I go there and I just, out of luck, pure luck, I found the guy. And I'm like, okay, this is the guy I was actually supposed to be seeing. And I sit down with him and I explain. And he tells me, I think I know what it is. We just need to do some tests. But hey, did you tell all these other doctors what you're telling me? I'm like, yeah, I told them exactly. Even the guy who I saw last week, I told him. And he picks up the file and he looks at it and he just starts shaking his head. So he's like, anyway, let's do some tests. So I did some blood work, I did some x-rays, I did an MRI. He looked at the imaging, he's like, I need to 2 more tests. And then he made me do a biopsy, which is where they go in, because from the MRI, they could see there was a growth. And they wanted to know what was the nature of this growth. So they went in. I remember it was a day surgery thing. So I went in, I was admitted. They went in through my ear.
They go in where?
Huh?
When you say they went in?
I'm getting there, I'm getting there. So they went in through my ear because the growth was kind of behind my nose. It was in the post-nasal space,
Yes,
right?
yes,
Where
yes.
your ear, nose, and throat meet,
Yeah.
in that cavity. That's where the growth was. But strangely enough, even before I get there, the actual thing that made me go to the hospital is that I started losing my hearing. Let's rewind to when I was 7 years old. We had gone to Mombasa. I think we were staying at Mombasa Beach Hotel. A normal family holiday in August during my sister's birthday. And I got very sick. And they called in the hospital, the hotel doctor. The hotel doctor is like, take this, take this, take this. My fever kept getting worse. It was not breaking. There was a lot of pain. I ended up going to a hospital. And they did a test. They did some tests. They diagnosed me with malaria. They started treating me for malaria. I kept getting worse. Turns out I had been misdiagnosed. You know, those are the days of it's malaria. What do you give him quinine? Even without doing the test, he need malaria. So it turns out I had a very bad case of mumps. And because it had not been attended to, and because I had been given medication for something else, I reacted to the situation. Actually, it was almost fatal. And eventually what happened was I lost hearing in my left ear.
Wow.
So the nerves still work, but the inner ear is damaged. So I can't hear from my left ear. So from that age, from the age of 7, I've had one-sided hearing.
What?
So I've always had to, I'd always turn. Like if someone is talking to me, I'll always do this. And guys are like, what's wrong with this guy? Maybe the chick thinks, maybe he's trying to kiss me. I don't know. But yeah, so because I'm only hearing from this side there's nothing coming in. So even if you're talking to me on this side, my first instinct is, what? Well, it's coming from this side.
Yeah.
So sometimes I would even overcompensate. So when I hear a sound, I first scan this side to see is there anyone on that side. Then it's okay, maybe it's coming from here. So, yeah.
From when you were 7?
From when I was 7, I've had one-sided hearing.
And is it this ear, was it full, you couldn't hear a thing? Or is it partial?
I can't hear a thing. It's characterized as profound hearing loss. So the inner ear, it's like, think of an electric circuit. And for something to get from here to here, there needs to be a wire. If you cut that wire, there's not going to be any... Yes, the current won't flow. So there's a point in my inner ear where the sounds that are supposed to be transported to my inner ear, to my brain, there's a cut somewhere. So there's a part that's not functional. So the nerves are still working. I can still feel vibrations.
But,
So I'm actually a good candidate for a cochlear implant. But, yeah.
Story for another day.
A story for another day.
This is CT, a story for later today.
So, come back to what led me to go to the hospital. I started losing my hearing.
Now in the other ear.
Yes. Every time I'm talking to people, like, what? What do you say? Just repeat yourself. All of a sudden, I'm putting the TV so loud, and everyone's like, it's too loud, but I can't hear. But I'm not putting 2 and 2 together. So that's actually what made me seek out an ENT. And now when I was talking to that family friend, they're like, maybe you should see an ENT, because even the ear is not. So that's actually what made me go to the hospital. The other symptoms, I was okay. It was nothing big. It was not, it's just sinus, headache, take Panadol, blah, blah, blah. So when I went in for the biopsy, they went in through my inner, they put me under local anesthetic. They went in through my ear to take a piece of the growth. And then they get it out. Even before that, first they thought it was wax. Not that ENT, but the other people. They thought it was, maybe there's a lot of earwax and maybe that's what's blocking. So I went, I was syringed and they removed the wax and blah, blah, blah. And then still nothing. So now when I'm seeing this guy and he gets the biopsy, then they go look at it under a microscope and they do some tests on it. And I went back for my results. It took about a week or so because there's blood work, there was the biopsy, there's the lab work, all that. And the guy sits us down. I was there with my dad, by the way. And I hear the doctor say, you have cancer of the postnasal space. And I think the rest of the day for me was a blur.
What?
Once I heard the word cancer, it's almost like an out-of-body. It's like I was watching myself in the doctor's office, like an out-of-body experience. It was very weird. So I remember the doctor saying many things after that, but once I had cancer, I didn't really hear much else of what he was saying. What brought me back into the conversation, because I'm not in my thoughts.
Yeah.
That time I was 19. I look at my dad, and this guy has always been a pillar of strength. I've never seen the guy cry. I've never seen the guy weak. I've never seen the guy whine about I don't know what. And I look at this guy, and there are tears balancing in his eyes. And I'm like, hey? That's what actually brought me back from my out-of-body experience. And I look at him, and he's like, if this guy is like this, now my 5 sisters and my mother, how are they going to react?
Yeah.
And that day I actually made a decision. I said, you know what? I'm going to be strong. Even if it's not for me, for my family, I'm going to be strong. And I'm going to beat this thing.
Wow.
So that's how I found out I had cancer of the postnasal space. That's where your ear, nose, and throat meet. Medically, they call it nasopharyngeal. But yeah, it's the postnasal space. That was the diagnosis. So I remember that day, but they're going back home. And my mom was there, and my other sister, Bev, who was the one who was still in Nairobi. Actually, she had finished school and just moved back home. And we told them, I remember we sat them down and told them. And have you ever been to someone's house when there's a funeral? That mood, where it's just sadness and mourning. It was almost like someone had died in my house. So we told my mom, told my sister, then we started having to call the other sisters. Tell them, oh, this is what's happening, blah, 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 blah. So that was the day I was diagnosed with cancer.
Okay, let's take a break. We'll be back in a few.